Most shocking cars of all time. Cars aren't popular just because of their power or price. The design, stylishness, and overall look of a car also plays an important part in how it is received by the public, and of course, its potential buyers. We spend a lot of our days driving cars or being transported in one of them. So owning a car that looks good and also has enough power is essential for most people. However, some car manufacturers have gone the opposite route and designed some of the most ludicrously ugly cars ever that have left the whole world shocked in regards to their design. Today, we'll be presenting you some of the most shocking cars of all time, thanks in part to their horrible design. The funny part is that most of these cars featured some technological advances or decent power and price. It's just that they were very unpopular due to their sheer ugliness. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to keep receiving more interesting content like today's video. So, let's begin with our first entry. We're going to begin our showcase with the Pontiac Aztec. Pontiac Aztec. The Pontiac Aztec is a mid-size crossover produced by Pontiac and marketed by General Motors from 2001 to 2005. We placed it on this list not because of its power, but because of its very controversial styling, which earned a lot of ire from critics who were not very much fans of the supposedly sport recreational vehicle. Pulitzer Prize-winning automotive critic and syndicated columnist Dan Neal, in naming it one of the 50 worst cars of all time, said the Aztec violated one of the principal rules of car design. We like cars that look like us. With its multiple eyes and supernumerary nostrils, the Aztec looks deformed and scary, something that dogs bark at and cathedrals employ to ring bells. The shame is, under all that ugliness, there was a useful, competent crossover. Other people also voiced their opinions on the Aztec's outrageously horrible design. Mickey Kaus described the Aztec as having awkwardly empty and square front wheel wells, and a gratuitous, fierce, animalistic snout, which may have been what prompted incoming GM executive Bob Lutz to famously say that many of the company's products looked like angry kitchen appliances. James Hall, vice president at Auto Pacific Inc., ranked the Aztec as one of the 10 ugliest cars of all time. Carl Brauer, CEO and editor-in-chief of TotalCarscore.com, said the Aztec featured atrocious proportions wrapped in plastic body cladding and looked like a station wagon stretched out by a car bomb. Even Time magazine labeled the Aztec one of the worst inventions of all time. So you know this one was not very well received by the general public. Reliant Robin. Similar to the Aztec, the Reliant Robin generated quite a negative reaction with the general public after it was released. It is the second most popular fiberglass car in history, with Reliant being the second biggest UK-owned car manufacturer for a time. The Reliant Robin was a small three-wheeled car produced by the Reliant Motor Company in Tamworth, England. It was offered in several versions, MK1, MK2, and MK3, over a period of 30 years. The trusty Robin was manufactured first in October 1973 to replace the Reliant Regal. At this moment, the Reliant Robin models featured a 750cc engine, although it was later improved to an 850cc engine boost. It was well received during the 1970s because of good work by Ogle Design and its affordable price. The single wheel in the front is responsible for the steering, while the engine, also in the front, drives the rear axle. The Reliant Robin aimed to provide economical and predictable personal transport. The 850cc engine gives an acceleration of 0 to 60 miles per hour in 14 seconds and a top speed of 85 miles per hour. They also give a very good economy figure of up to 70 miles per gallon. The later MK3 Reliant Robin was quoted to give 60 to 100 miles per gallon. However, most people mock the Reliant Robin. Reliant three-wheelers enjoy a special place in British culture, often as the butt of jokes, such as when Patsy Stone dismissively refers to Adina Monsoon's isolation chamber as resembling one in the TV series Absolutely Fabulous. In the United Kingdom, the Robin is sometimes affectionately nicknamed the plastic pig because of its distinctive shape and fiberglass body shell. It is also often, and erroneously, referred to as the Robin Reliant. Georgia Nicholson, the fictional heroine of Louise Renason's Confessions of Georgia Nicholson book series aimed at teenage girls, regularly makes fun of the family car, referred to as a Robin Reliant. In general, the Reliant has good power and performance, but a very silly design that made it a very shocking decision to be released into the market. Let's move on to the next one. Fiat Multipla. The Fiat Multipla is a compact MPV, or multi-purpose vehicle, produced by Fiat from 1998 to 2010. And probably the first thing that comes to mind when looking at this car is how alien it looks. There are a few compact MPVs that share a look as strange and ugly as the Fiat Multipla. And if you don't believe us, simply look at the critics regarding its design. The Multipla won the Top Gear Car of the Year in 2000, as well as the Ugliest Car in the same program's awards. It was also voted Top Gear magazine's Family Car of the Year for 4 years in a row, from 2001 to 2004. In July 2000, in the series finale of Clarkson's Car Years, it was awarded Family Car of the Moment. The Telegraph even claimed that the Multipla resembled a psychotic cartoon duck, which usually caused sarcastic sneers or laughter from neighbors, friends, and schoolmates. In 2008, the Daily Telegraph placed it number 2 on its list of the 100 ugliest cars, saying, "Derided for the blandness of its output during the 1980s and early 1990s, Fiat dared to start thinking outside the box." In this case, however, it simply added wheels to the box. Not even catching a break in modern times, back in February 2018, the Sunday Times also placed it on its list for the ugliest cars in existence, claiming that it would be better to walk than be seen driving one of these metal behemoths. Poor Multipla. At least its engines were decent enough. Isuzu Viocross. Nearly ending our showcase, and on the penultimate spot for the most shockingly ugly cars of all time, we have the Isuzu Viocross. This is another car that was unfortunately cursed with a bad look despite having decent performance. The Viocross was developed by Isuzu as a compact SUV and was produced from 1997 through 2001. We only have to wonder what the design team was consuming that made them think this car had a beautiful, or at least decent, style. It literally looks like a metal monster that wants to eat all the other cars on the street. To make matters even worse, this car was a flop with sales. Sales were intentionally limited, with only 5,958 vehicles being produced between 1997 and 2001. 1,805 were produced for the domestic Japanese market, and the remaining 4,153 sold in the United States. Japanese sales were limited by the fact that the exterior width dimensions were not in compliance with Japanese government dimension regulations, and the engine displacement obligated Japanese drivers for higher levels of annual road tax. The vehicle had a base price of $28,900, though few people would have given more than $10,000 to be seen driving one of these beasts. Mitsubishi Orochi. The final car to be placed on our list, and earning the prize for the most shocking car design ever, has to be the Mitsubishi Orochi. The only sports car on our list, and probably the sports car with the most intriguing design to ever be built. It was designed from 2003 to 2005, and offered for sale 2 years later, built by Mitsubishi Motors, and earning its name from the mythical 8-headed Japanese dragon in Japanese folklore, Yamada no Orochi. You can imagine that such an exotic design was definitely intentional, with Mitsubishi even saying that the Orochi was the car to ride to gather attention from everyone, and that it was a fashion supercar. Mitsubishi unveiled a new convertible version at the 2005 Tokyo Motor Show, calling it the Orochi Nude Top. In October 2006, Mitsubishi officially launched the production version of the Orochi. Production was limited to 400 units over 4 years. The first Orochis were set to be delivered in January 2007. Some called the Orochi to be bold due to its very unique design, though the Mitsubishi Orochi has been widely panned by American and English reviewers. Commonly called the world's ugliest car by Jalopnik, the Orochi has been greatly criticized for its appearance. While most of the cars we saw today did have a pretty good engineering and practicality, except for Reliant Robin, their looks and design killed any possibility for them to be used in public. Given for their weird-looking and low amount of produce, they could be a wanted future classic. Which one of these did you like the most? Which one are you interested in buying? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave our video a like, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel to keep receiving more amazing car content like today. And if you like this video, make sure to watch this other one right here. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.